When I say welcome to my humble life, this is the stuff I'm talking about. I'm slinging 42 bales of hay today, all by my lonesome. And I really do get a good workout on my ranch. You don't need HRT, you just need to connect with nature. It's time to smash this debate again. Fiber versus no fiber on a low-carb diet, keto or carnivore. Let's go, because this video is going to be a good one. Welcome everyone to my very, very humble life where I just unloaded 21 bales of hay and I have to go pick up another 21 tomorrow. That's what's up. Alright, I digress. I'm going to do a whole video about my workouts, lifting bales of hay and feed bags. Okay, fiber versus no fiber. I've spoken about this before, but I think I need to break it down again because people are very confused. You have this camp of people that say, you don't need fiber. Yes, you do. You don't need fiber. It can destroy your gut. Okay, well, let's clear up this madness. Number one, we have soluble fiber and we have insoluble fiber. We have gut bacteria, motility, we've got mast cell activation. All of these things are playing a role when it comes to deciding should you do a carnivore diet where you have no fiber or a ketogenic diet where you're still eating and consuming cruciferous vegetables. Okay. And then we've got to talk about the prebiotic fiber and inulin. Number one, insoluble fiber. What the frack is it? Well, it's a fiber that bulks up in your colon. This is why carnivore people say don't eat that shite. You don't bulk up. But it's supposed to help bulk up in your colon and pull stuff out of you. That's what it's supposed to do. But then you have people who have poor motility. The pipes ain't squeezing. That muscle is not squeezing the stool down. So when you have that muscle is paralyzed and then you're adding bulk to your gut, people feel gassy, they feel bloated, and they become even more constipated. So I understand why people are saying, yo, don't bother with the fiber. You're not supposed to poop. You're supposed to not need to eliminate stool by eating fiber, which is true. If the bacteria is in balance in your gut, in your colon, bottom of the small, top of the large, if you have good motility and that muscle squeezing and you got enough stomach acid, bacteria is happy, the beneficial bacteria, then yeah, you probably will shite with no problem. No problem at all. Which then means that if you do have fiber, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, chia seeds, flax seeds, yes, these things are fiber, greens to your diet, is that okay? Well, yes. The problem isn't the fiber. The problem is your broken gut. It's like fat. Fat does not make you fat. Broken hormones, jacked up gallbladder, well, that make you fat. So context is everything. A lot of these gurus are not giving you context as to what's going on right there in your stomach and your belly or intestine. So we have insoluble, whereas like cruciferous vegetables that you would eat have more insoluble fiber, but they also have soluble fiber. What is soluble fiber? That's the kind of fiber that adds like a jelly, goopy substance, helps draw water to the colon and eliminate. Yeah. And some people with any type of inflammatory bowel disease where their muscles paralyzed often do better with this jelly-like substance, but then some don't, because if you take chia and flax, sometimes chia and flax will, that jelly-like substance, you know, when you put water on either of them, they get like goopy. That's what's happening in the gut. Sometimes that goopy gel fiber will bind to minerals, all minerals, and you become demineralized. But then insoluble fiber, like the broccoli and cauliflower and asparagus, which are also mixed with soluble fiber. The insoluble fiber also binds to minerals. So that's why carnivore people say, don't eat fiber. It jacks you up, makes you more constipated, and it demineralizes you. Is that right? Is that right? Now we have the whole camp of, but if you don't eat fiber, you're not getting inulin, and we need prebiotic fiber. It's a type of fiber that can ferment and convert into, short chain fatty acids, which is butyrate, not convert. It becomes butyrate. Butyrate is a short chain fatty acid that is amazing at fixing everything. Your broken gut, inflammatory bowel disease, leaking gut, big holes in the gut wall. That's why we need fiber. So what vegetables have prebiotic fiber? Well, if you're doing a keto diet, one of the best ones is asparagus. But what if you eat asparagus and it comes out your bung? Hence the confusion. Then people say just do a carnivore diet. Now you don't have to worry about anything coming out your bung. Nothing's going right through you. You don't have an inflammatory reaction. But then if you don't have the fiber, you can't poop. Conundrum. Now is this getting clear? Yes, fiber is a problem and fiber is amazing. All in one. That's why carnivore people like to say, like, oh, plants are trying to KILL you. No, they ain't. You have to look at how you live your life. If you were smoking and drinking and eating bad food, having a high blood sugar, taking antibiotics, certain said medications, these things can create a dysbiotic gut. The bacteria in your colon can also make butyrate, but they need help, right? They need a low cortisol response. They need circadian rhythm. They might need some probiotics, but honey, if you have mast cell activation, take those fermented foods and take them later. Because often people have got mast cell activation, have a problem with histamine. So you see, it's a myriad of all of these things that are good and bad when it comes to fiber. Ultimately, prebiotic fiber is amazing to fix the gut. But then fiber damages the gut. What do you do? Well, actually, fiber does not damage the gut. Fiber can be your worst enemy if you've created damage to your existing gut, right? If you have an existing issue and introduce soluble or insoluble fiber, some people have it come right out the end. Some people become constipated, feel bloated, gassy. What do you do if you're that person, but you need the freaking prebiotic fiber to fix the gut, that you wouldn't have the issues with the fiber if the gut were fixed? See what I mean? It's kind of weird. You start off very, very, very small. You might take a little nibble of asparagus, well cooked, mixed with meat and a little bit of fat, and get your body, your immune system, to recognize those mast cells, to your body to recognize that you're not having a massive inflammatory response, and following the circadian rhythm, staying hydrated, balancing your electrolytes, balancing your blood sugar. That's a whole nother video on how to do that. If you're able to balance your blood sugar and you are not just bathing in cortisol, and you eat tiny amounts of prebiotic fiber, you will slowly begin to tolerate it. It's like your body forgets how to consume these foods without the histamine response. But like Michaela Peterson, the introduction is so tiny and so small, but it works once you clean up your environment. So when you're trying to have cruciferous vegetables, or if you're trying to have the phytic acid, not the phytic acid, but the phytoestrogens from flax, because there's a big, huge debate on should you take this kind of estrogen. I'm actually in the camp of taking this type of flax, even though it's a baby plant. I don't do it right now, but later down the line, you can have a little bit of these soluble fiber types without having the gut issues, the cramping, the pain, the constipation, the demineralization. Slow, tiny, be patient, and the gut will begin to accept, and the mast cells, prebiotic fiber. If you guys want to learn more or figure out how to fix the gut, right? Not just sticking with one culty diet, learning how to transverse between all of them with the right timing without destroying the gut or having a mast cell activation reaction, go to stephanieperson.com and book a consultation. I've been doing this for a long time, because it's not just about the gut and it's not just about stress, but how to balance your electrolytes, how to deal with blood sugar, Don's phenomenon, the gallbladder. All of these things play a role, plus eczema size. Get off the HRTs. I'm just saying, just get off that. Don't need them. Need to fix your lifestyle and your way of thinking. And I'm out. Comment below, share this content. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page, Stephanie the Business Person. I'm out because I gotta go get some grass-fed meat. Yeah, and then come back and feed my horses, and then fix one of the broken shelters. And yeah, I won't make it to the gym today because there's just not enough time, and plus time is 22 hours now. We're not 24. It's all kind of stuff. Energy at 58, and I'm so close to being 59, which means in 1 year I will be 60. And I'm so excited. I can't wait. And I'm out. So fabulous in Tennessee. I do think so. All right. Peace out, my fam.